free your staff to focus on high-impact work while offering round-the-clock assistance to every student. With Element 451, you can deploy AI agents that reason, act, and provide support at scale, solving problems, analyzing data, and crafting personalized outreach instantly. These AI agents expand your team's abilities without replacing the human touch, allowing staff to dedicate their time to what matters most. Unlock the future of workforce enablement at element451.com.
This is the application where higher ed enrollment strategy gets tactical. I'm Allison Tercio, marketer, curious question asker, and your guide through what's next and what's working in higher ed. Join us as we focus on what really matters, connecting with students and parents in more human, personalized ways, and using tools like AI to make that connection scalable and smart. From rethinking your inquiry campaigns to fixing funnel friction, everything we cover is about creating better experiences for students and better results for your team. Whether you lead the team, recruit the students, build the campaigns, or manage the message, you'll walk away from every episode with something you can use right now. Are you ready to get one step closer to your next enrollment win? Let's go. Whew, we made it past the May 1st deadline. But if you work enrollment, you know that the work is never done. There's always next. And that next right now is Melt Season. And when I think about this thing that we call Melt Season, I think it's a little like detective work. We've got clues, we've got gut feelings, and now we've got a sidekick, AI. Today, we're kicking off this 3-part Melt Season Playbook with one powerful focus: finding the students who need you most before it's too late. Not with more guesswork, not with more stress, but with some strategic nudges from AI that will help us spot risk, tighten our plans, and make our outreach more personal and targeted. Let's get into it. The first topic for today is this idea of spotting at-risk students. Now, we have a great opportunity because we all already have a gold mine of data in our CRMs. The problem is we don't always have time to comb through it, to interpret every pattern or rethink every segment. That's where AI comes in. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to export a list of deposited students from the previous year. We have their engagement history, email opens, email clicks, housing status, adjusted gross income, orientation registration, number of visits. We have so many engagement points. And most importantly, we have information on whether or not they actually showed up and enrolled in the fall. We're going to pop this anonymized data, by the way, into ChatGPT and try this prop. Here's data from our CRM on deposited students. Based on these behaviors, what might indicate a risk of melt? So you're not asking AI to diagnose. We're not having it evaluate the class or anything like that. That's for us to do. And AI is not a crystal ball, but it can help surface patterns we might not be seeing. And then we're going to upload the data for this year's students and see who has these patterns, has these combinations of engagements or non-engagements that would lead us to believe they are at risk of not actually enrolling in the fall. Maybe what it does is it flags students who clicked on financial aid pages or looked at their financial aid award letter but haven't logged into their portal since. Or maybe it will tell us students who haven't opened emails in the last 3 times that we've sent emails. We're going to use those cues to build filters and call lists in the CRM. How are we then going to outreach to those particular students? And keep in mind that we're not just limited to our own data. If you want to understand what students like yours are thinking and feeling this time of year, you can try using the deep research feature in ChatGPT. It lets you scan live sources from across the web to find what real students and families are asking, posting, and worrying about. So I try to prompt, what are parents of first-gen students saying online about orientation and next steps after deposit? And what it did is it bounced back some questions for me. Am I looking for feedback from parents across the US or at a specific university or a specific region? Are you interested in a particular platform? It's asking if it wants me to look at Facebook groups, Reddit, college forums. And would you like me to focus on concerns, suggestions, or general experiences? And I was provided with some great insights on how parents are truly wondering about things like orientation schedules, housing, and next steps after making a deposit. They are looking for clear communication and detailed information, and they want it sooner rather than later. These are really good reminders. We can use them almost as checks before we send communications to these at-risk students. Are we clear? Are we providing the right level of detail that they're looking for? Are we focused on what we want them to know or what we want to say? Or are we really focused in on what they want or need to know? The next topic for today is talking about pressure testing our MELT plan. I want you to think like a student, or actually have AI think like one for you. So you can say, pretend you're a student who just deposited at insert your university. What would you expect to happen in the next 30 days? This prompt works because it reveals assumptions you might not even realize you're making. Some of us have been doing this for a long time. And so we might just be sort of rinsing and repeating the things that we have done in terms of touch points after that point of enrollment. But AI might come back with things like, I'd expect a text welcoming me. I'd hope for a clear checklist with deadlines right away. I might be nervous about finding a roommate. Boom. Now we have a better sense of what the plan feels like from their shoes. So this can help us do things like tighten the onboarding experience, fill in communication gaps, and reduce that anxious silence that leads to ghosting. I love this approach because a lot of times we send them a lot of to-dos, things we want them to do, but how can we infuse the empathy pieces? How can we address things like feeling nervous about finding a roommate? Then take that plan to students, ideally freshmen, and ask them what they think. What was helpful to them? What wasn't clear? Always look for ways to get the human student perspective too, even when we're using AI as a helper. And finally, let's talk about mapping the student journey with AI as a co-pilot. Another great way to use AI is mapping the full MELT journey from both an emotional and logistical point of view. It's similar to the MELT plan that we just talked about, but with a different spin. So try a prompt like, map the key emotional and practical moments a student experiences between deposit and move-in day. You'll get a timeline that includes things like fear about affording the final bills and being able to cover them, confusion over orientation, excitement about their major, radio silence in mid-July. And this isn't just theoretical, it's a gut check for the communications calendar. Ask yourself, what are we missing? Now, these ideas are broad, right? The key is you know way more about your students than I do or AI does. That's all information you can feed it to get even better output, more customized to your institution. So instead of just saying map the key moments a student experiences, you can tell AI all that you know about your students already. There's no replacement for that kind of institutional knowledge and expertise and student insight that you carry with you every day. So here's the big takeaway for today. AI won't tell you who to call or what to send, and it shouldn't, but it can help you think faster, see patterns, and ask better questions. Think of it as a thought partner, a brainstormer, a second set of eyes, and in a season as high stakes as this one, that matters. Next time, we're going to tackle how to use AI to sharpen your student and parent outreach without losing the human touch. But until then, here's your homework. Pick one prompt from today's episode, drop it into ChatGPT, see what you learn. You might just find the student who needed to hear from you today. And I'd love to hear about your experience. Thanks for listening to The Application. This show is a proud member of the Enrollify Network, home to Higher Ed's largest collection of podcasts. Enrollify is where higher ed goes to grow. So be sure to check out our other podcasts, webinars, video clips, blogs, and so much more. Visit Enrollify.org and subscribe for all the latest details and content drops directly to your inbox. Enrollify is brought to you by Element 451, the digital workforce platform for higher ed. Learn more at element451.com.